Hello and welcome to another beautiful episode of Unraveling Her with me, your host, Nikki Alaris. I'm super excited to get into this week's episode just because I have been out sick and I feel like I haven't recorded anything in a minute. So let's not delay and let's get right into it. I have been seeing, this time around, just because, oops, I don't want that to spill. This time around is the time I usually would look up how to glow up videos. In the past, when school was starting, I would be looking up how to glow up, how to be that it girl. And it was just mesmerizing watching these girls do their morning routine and their night routine and just thrive. It looks like they're having such a great time, and it was just beautiful watching them. And so there's always, and you know how Instagram talks about you're that girl, be that girl, right? But no one really talks about how to be that girl. And so let's touch on that. There's 3 ways to be that girl. And this is my take on it. This is my hot take on it. So number 1, manifest. Manifest the girl, the woman you want to become. Embody her. And if you can't tell from the back, that's me manifesting. All these pictures are from when I had a photo shoot with a few of my photographer friends. And I love watching how this all came to be. Well, the process of it was really fun. Photo shoots are always fun. But I keep this right above my bed because before I go to bed and when I wake up, that's the first thing I see, and it's very inspiring because I feel really confident in these moments. I had these photo shoots. And it reminds me of the person I'm wanting to becoming her. Anyways, becoming that girl. And here are some ways I've been manifesting and how it worked. I've manifested 2 of my dream jobs, 3 in the making. And I've also done what I wanted to do, travel for work. I've also lived on my own, on my own actually. I'm 22 and I have my own studio, which I adore because once you have gone through it and lived with roommates and lived in like shitty apartments, the smallest things make a difference. Like having in-unit laundry makes a big difference. And so the first thing is to manifest. And it's not just making vision boards like this one in the back. It's not just burning incense and praying to crystals and hoping your crystals will do the work for you. It's not at all. For the longest time, that's what I thought manifestation was. What it really looks like, and this is the harsh truth, is doing the damn work. And what I mean by that is putting effort into the woman you want to become. Dress like her. Talk like her. Walk like her. Eat like her. If you can envision this person you want to become, embody that person. What is the first thing that she does when she wakes up? What's the last thing she does before she goes to bed? How does she handle stressful situations? How does she carry herself? How does she communicate? All these things come together that reflect the person you want to become. So manifestation doesn't just look like using incense and crystals and making mood boards. It's more than that. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What you don't see a lot of people do, what I do, is the dirty work. How hard it is to stay consistent in doing all these things. And you'll learn the hard way what works for you and what doesn't. And that's the beauty of the process. you know? And it helps as well to have someone you look up to, someone that inspires you, whether it's a celebrity, an artist, or someone in your local neighborhood, a stranger you met on the street. It could be anybody. Find someone that inspires you to be the best version of yourself and work towards it. Like I said, manifestation is more than having the materials to become that person, but utilizing the tools you already have around you. So take with that what you will. Number 2, which is my favorite and which is something I have been struggling to do, which is trusting yourself. Let's get into it because it's so cliche. And you've probably heard it time and time again. Trust yourself, trust the process. But what does that actually look like? What does trusting the process actually look like? When you hear that, trust the process, trust yourself, it just seems like an inspirational quote. But what you don't know is how hard it is to trust yourself when you're going through so much shit that pushes you to doubt yourself constantly, daily. And I'm guilty of it many times, where I'm doubting myself, doubting my decisions constantly, because we're always so hard on ourselves. And what I've found is that the more I overcame certain situations, the more I trusted myself. The more I began to challenge myself, the more I trusted myself because I could prove to myself I can do it. A good example, which is why a lot of people work out, a lot of successful people stay active and fit, is because they challenge themselves. They try to break their personal records, whether it's in weights, whether it's in running miles, whatever it is. They can time and time again prove to themselves that they can overcome their personal record. Same goes to your career. Same goes to your friendships, your relationships. Whatever your goal is in life, if you can prove to yourself you can do hard things, then you begin to trust yourself. And this is a prime example of where I'm currently at. I have been working in this position that I thought was really glamorous, and come to find out the grass is never really greener on the other side. And I've been challenged almost every single day I clock into work. And I've proven to myself that I can do hard things. And so if I can do it every day, I can do it time and time again. This also challenges me to see how much I'm capable of and how much I can handle, how I respond to things. And it really has taught me a lot about myself. And if you can do that, if you can trust yourself, you're one step closer to becoming her, to becoming that girl. And becoming that girl means being confident in what you say and being confident in the choices you make. That's how you become her. That's how you become that girl, is when you can trust what you're saying confidently, trust in the decisions you make, because you're a reflection of all your actions, of all your words. And if you can walk it like you talk it, you are that girl. Let me tell you that. And if you're slowly working on yourself, you're becoming that girl. And so that's just my take on that. Another thing is creating consistency in your routine. What I mean by that is I've tried it so many different times in so many different avenues of trying to be consistent. I want to do so many things in a day. Read a book, write a poem, exercise, eat healthy. I can't do that consistently every single day. Trust me, I've tried, and it's so fucking hard. It's exhausting because you go to work, And before I even go to work, I wake up 2 hours before I need to leave. And I try to create a morning routine. And I would usually read, drink some tea, stretch out, go on a walk if I have time, and then get ready for work. I'd write 3 things I'm grateful for. Then when I come home from work, I try to eat a healthy meal, be active, write a poem, do some reading, do some writing. I can't consistently do that every day. So the best way to work on yourself is to create a consistent routine that's simple enough for you to follow. Whether it's doing 3 things consistently each day or simply doing one. If you can do one thing consistently every day, that's already a step forward. Now, that can be reading before you go to bed. That can be exercising for 10 minutes at least a day, whether it's walking, stepping into the gym, or whether it's working on your passion projects for 30 minutes. Do something once a day consistently that makes you better. That's just my advice, because as you know, as you start to begin to work on yourself, you'll realize that trusting the process isn't easy. It never is. Trust me. I have thought that, trusting the process is so glamorous, it's so simple and so poetic to, just trust the process. It's so inspirational. But what you don't see is the self-doubt you constantly are met with every single day. You don't see the times where you feel defeated and don't want to keep going. And those are the times where you're really, really challenged to trust yourself and trust your vision, trust your goals, trust your choices. And once you learn to do those things, you are proving to yourself of what you're capable of. Number 3, the very and most important thing to becoming that girl is what you learn and continue to learn as you grow old, maybe until you die, is to let go. Let go of your old habits. Let go of your self-doubt. Let go of your fears. Let go of the person you were a year ago. Let go of past relationships. Let go of certain mindsets. Let go of certain beliefs that you had. Let go of what you can't control. There's so many things we try to control in our lives that when we're struggling to make it work, it doesn't. And sometimes the universe reminds us that certain things and certain people need to be let go of because they're not serving us anymore for our highest good. And it's not easy. It never really is. Letting go is hard as hell, but you need to. If you want to grow and be that girl, you got to learn to not take things too seriously. And I mean this with so much love, because I'm a very affectionate and very loving person, and I used to always take things too seriously, and I'm still working on that too, to not let things affect me too hard. But that's a good reminder for myself and to whoever's listening to this, is to not let what anyone says get to you, because they're just projecting their internal emotion. Say someone cut you off on the highway and gave you the finger. And you know what I've noticed? Because a lot of people have done that to me. Not like occasionally, like all the time, but on occasion, some people would, cut me off and give me the middle finger. And one time I remember thinking to myself, they're in a rush. They're having a bad day. It's not always about you. Sometimes they really are having a bad day, or something is going on in their life. So take into consideration that people are going through shit that we don't know half of, and that life doesn't revolve around us. We play our part in the symphony of life we live in, and you learn what works for you and what doesn't. And I had to let go a lot of my old habits in order to become her. I had to let go of certain mindsets to become her. I had to let go of people who I thought I could trust because I needed to make room for people at my table that could also feed me. Too often I was feeding the people around my table and they weren't really giving back. And so as I grow older, I realized I need to surround myself with people who can also feed me and nourish my needs. And so you learn a lot. And I hope that you guys took something from this episode. And if you didn't, it's this. In order to become that girl, you need to get to know yourself. You'll learn what works for you and what doesn't through experiences. It's going to be hard. Hell, it's going to be chaotic. And you're going to get overwhelmed. But the difference in you and many others is the way you respond to it. It's the way you handle it, the way you carry yourself. Although life is hard, you yourself have to learn how to pick yourself up on those days where it feels like you're defeated. There's been so many days lately where I felt so defeated, and it's been happening a lot more often to the point where my resilience is actually going up because I'm like, shit, it's been such a hard day today. It's going to be a hard day tomorrow again. Fuck it. We're going to do the best we can with what we got that day. And you learn to not take things seriously. I love you. Thank you for listening to that. Thank you for listening to this beautiful episode, and I hope to see you in the next one real soon. Mwah. Salamat.